Hi everybody, I'm Corinne Blackstone and welcome to my craft room. Before we get started, be sure to check out my website, CorinneBlackstone.com. You can sign up for my free monthly newsletter, check out my blogs, and my free SVGs over there. Today's video is going to be about what else can I press with my Cricut Hat Press. So obviously we know that we can do hats, but are there other things that you can make with the Cricut Hat Press? So we're going to try a couple of different items and just see how it goes together. I didn't pre-test anything. I just went for it for this video because I really wanted it to be a true, like, can we do this? Is it going to come out? So we're going to find out together. So let's get started.
Whatever we would do it just for fun.
We have the Cricut Hat Press here ready to go. So this is our hat press. I'm going to turn it to the side. It's not on, so I won't burn myself. But this is the heating plate, and you can see that it's curved. So we're kind of wondering, what else can we press with our hat press besides hats? So I have a little cotton pouch, a sublimation mug. I'm going to do Infusible ink on the mug. I have a little Peep stuffed animal, a neoprene case, which again, we're going to do Infusible ink on because neoprene is polyester. And then I have this little bunny rabbit we're going to try to press on his t-shirt. We're going to use the hat form and not use the hat form as well to try these. We're using Starcraft Soft Flex for the Peep, the bunny t-shirt, and the pouch, and then we're going to use Infusible ink for the mug and for the little earbud case. So the first thing I'm going to do is turn it on, and to turn it on you just press this little temperature button. So the first setting is perfect for the Starcraft Soft Flex. So I'm going to let this heat up. I'm going to get our little hat form down and we're going to get ready to press. While our press heats up, I'm going to go ahead and place my design. I just did a little monogram. My name is way too long for this Peep. And then we're going to use the strong grip heat tape for this because these do tend to slide around, especially on stuffed animals, because they're not like super sticky against the fabric of a stuffed animal. So I'm just going to go ahead and cut off some of this heat tape. This is the Cricut Strong Grip. And our press is ready. So I'm going to put some parchment paper between just to be safe, because I don't want to damage this cute little Peep at all. So I've got a little piece of parchment paper here, and I'm going to lay it over my Peep, and I'm going to place my heat press, so my little hat press, over my design, and I'm just going to count to 8. So that's 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We'll give it one little extra. And let's see. I mean, it looks like it pressed. I'll give it that. Now, this is a warm peel product, so we're going to go ahead and take it off. That pressed beautifully. Look at that. That's perfect. I mean, it doesn't have like any lifting at all. It feels great on here. It looks really good. So the hat press works on little stuffed animals perfectly. Definitely would recommend it for that, especially those little Peeps. They're perfect. Now we're going to do our little bunny. Now I could leave his t-shirt on, but I think I want to see if I can take his t-shirt off and put it on the hat form, just to see if the hat form helps us at all. Now don't quote me on being able to get this shirt off real easy because he's got a big old bulbous head here. But we're going to go ahead and pop his shirt off. And so this is a cotton shirt. It's just a little teeny tiny, I mean, you can see it's teeny. It's little bitty. So what I'm going to do is, see, I've got this hat form that we can use, and we can kind of lay the shirt down across it. So you see how I kind of have it laying across it? I think that's what we're going to do. Hopefully I didn't make this decal too big. It's pretty big. I did accidentally make it a little large, but that's okay. That'll just give us a tester. Now I'm going to reuse my heat tape because it does last for a while. And it's okay if it goes over your design. It won't affect that in any way from heating onto there. Okay, so I'm going to put it on my hat form. And I think what I'm going to do is try to like pull it so that this part of the shirt is off to the side, and then I'm just going to make sure to press that down. So I'm going to leave my hat form like this on the table so that it's flat. So then we're going to take our hat press, and again we're going to press down, and we're going to count to 8. So 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then I just go just a second longer in case I counted too quickly. And again, this is a warm peel product because it is Starcraft Soft Flex. So I just need to get the tape off, and let's see how this one looks. This one didn't do as well, but this is a pretty big design. So what I might need to do, because I think that like this part up here didn't stick as well. See how the bee lifted? So what I'm going to do, let me try and just kind of maneuver it a little bit differently so that perhaps I'm getting the top of that a little better. Now I don't have parchment paper between these two. I wanted to purposely try it without the parchment paper to see if it affected anything. I don't think the parchment paper has any effect on it, but I can still see the bee isn't really sticking. So I don't know if it's because the shirt is bunched under there or if it's just because I can't get a good angle on that area. So let's just try to get a good angle on that area. I'm going to move this over it a couple times, just kind of back and forth, and we'll see if maybe that was better. Now that time I did get it, so I think it was a matter of this being a little bit large, but this is going to be a true test. Oh, and that end didn't stick either. See, it's these ends. It's because you can't access them as easily because this is a little bit too big. So I think for larger designs, this may not be the best choice, but if you're doing something small, I think it'll be fine. So let's see if we got that end to stay down this time. Yep, now we're good. So that one just took a few extra presses, but I think it worked okay. I don't think it's like a big deal. I do have a little piece of my hair stuck under it, which is always a good time. Thankfully, this is just a trial, so we don't have to worry too much. And we can just put this right back on our bunny. And we'll just see kind of how it looks. Like I said, I did make this a little bit large. And that's, I think, why it didn't stick, is because this doesn't have a very large surface. So I'm excited to try the big decal for the pouch to see how that one does, because that one is really big. So we're going to have to do that one in a couple of sections. So I think that one's going to be our true test. But let's take a look and see. It looks like it's holding on fine. So I do think you could potentially do things like this. I would just maybe make this a little bit smaller. I got a little overzealous with the name. So the next one we'll do is our pouch. So this one here is just a canvas pouch, meaning that it is just cotton. I'm going to just set this down. And what I'm going to do on this one, I think I'm going to go this direction. So I'm kind of going to just do it in like sections and see how it does, just to see. But like, again, I feel like I'm not getting a great like angle on this. So I feel like I have to play with it a little bit to see where I'm going to get my best angle for my pressing. And again, I'm not putting the parchment paper between it. You can, but I can tell you already, I can see that we've got a pretty big like discrepancy of a wrinkle over here. And let me go ahead and do the parchment paper, just because I think this one's going to have to press a little bit longer than I would ideally like to press it. But again, I'm just going to move it and do it in sections, and we'll see if it works. I think you'd be better off probably doing this one with like the mini press, but I just kind of wanted to try. You guys have been asking to see what else this can work with, so we're going to give it a shot. Now, because we're not using Cricut product, I'm not using the heat app, but I'll use the heat app when we do the earbud case and the mug, because those are infusible ink, and that is a Cricut product. All right, now I can see, it looks like it's stuck okay. Not really. So I don't have a lot of stick on this little edge here. So I'm just going to go over this. Like, is it working? Yes. Is it sticking? Yes. Is it difficult? Also, yes. Do I think like this would be what I'd buy if I was going to make little stuffed animals and pouches and things? Absolutely not. But can it work? Yes. The answer is a resounding, it does work. Again, I don't think I'm getting a lot of great like pressure and like angle on it, because this is pretty small and it does have a pretty good like curve to it. But it is, I mean, it's stuck. It just took a little bit of time. But it worked. In a pinch, will it work? It will. It looks fine. It's held on well. All right, so now we are going to use our Cricut Heat app for this next section. For this next part, we are going to use the Cricut Heat app. So let me pull that up. We're going to use the Cricut Heat app for this next one. So what I want to do is I'm going to hit Start New Project, and my transfer material is what I'm going to pick first. So I want to select that, and we are using Infusible ink. And then it only gives me a couple of options. So I'm going to just choose the iron-on polyester. I don't know if that's going to work, but we'll see. It does say 90 seconds. I feel like we're gonna need to go longer, but we'll start with the little pouch first, and we'll go from there. We'll see how it works. So now what I want to do is I'm going to send my settings to my hat press, and what you'll see is that now it is going to flash orange and it will heat up. It gives you kind of a countdown of like how long it's going to take for it to get to the temperature that we need. So while we're waiting on that, I just cut out this cute little egg out of kind of a dark color of Infusible ink, and I'm going to go ahead and use some of the strong grip heat tape on this to tape it down to our pouch. And again, these are just neoprene, so they're 100% polyester. Should take the egg just fine. I realize now I just put the egg upside down. Not that I completely care because I'm just testing, but let's just put it the right way just to be, you know, kosher here. And we'll get this taped down. I think I'm going to give it one more piece because see how curly it is? I'm going to give it another couple pieces just to be safe. Now, this will be heated up in just a second. It heats up really quickly. The hat press really does heat up super fast. So I'm just going to tape it down to our thing. Now, I will say, I think what's going to end up happening with this is that I'm going to not be able to get a good press because there's like a bunch of empty space in here. So what I think I might want to do is grab like a cloth to put inside of here. So I've got this rag. I'm going to shove it inside here just to get like a better press onto that little egg, because then then there's like a surface under our neoprene. It's not perfect. I think I actually need to maybe put it in even thicker just so that it's really thick under that egg, and it keeps popping my egg off because the strong grip tape is only so strong. All right, I think that actually is not too bad. I don't think this is great. I would probably not expect this to do very well, but now it wanted us to preheat, so let me go ahead and peel that off. I'll follow the directions. It wants me to preheat it for 5 seconds, so just hit the little go button on your hat press and it'll preheat your blank. Then it'll beep to tell you it's done preheating. You can go ahead and put your design onto your blank. And then it wants us to do this for 90 seconds. So again, place it down onto your blank, covering the entire design, hit the button, and then go. Now, you'll see people moving it around. That makes me nervous because I'm always afraid that it's going to ghost really bad. And I have seen several of these ghost super bad for people when they move them, but we're going to do it and see kind of what happens. I think it is going to ghost, and I can't tell. It looks like it's covering the whole thing that way, actually. If I just push it down a little bit more. So you'll see that it's counting down on my phone, and it'll count down to 60 seconds. Now, it does tell you that you just need to apply light pressure. You don't need to do too much with it. It's not like, I'm not pressing down really at all. I'm just holding it onto the press, the little form. This way it'll keep my table from getting hot, which is why I'm using the form. So we're going to do the coffee cup next, which that should be an adventure. But I think if I put it in the cradle, it might work really well. So we're going to try it that way and see kind of what happens. But I do have some ideas of what's going to happen there. But we're going to go ahead and press this. I can already tell it's ghosting super bad. I can already see the ghosting happening, and it's really bad. So this is going to, yeah, I don't know that this would be something I would say would work. But I think it's more or less like the product, like the blank that I'm using maybe causing some of the ghosting. But also, I just think Infusible ink isn't usually my first choice of product. I don't really love the plastic on it. I think that actually causes a lot of ghosting issues. So that's just personal. But you can see, like, it did a lot of ghosting, which, you know, it is what it is. But let's go ahead and peel it off and see how it did. I mean, in the grand scheme of things, did it work? For the most part, yes. Is there ghosting? Also yes. And did the bottom not really come out? Also yes. But again, this is a pretty small little like rounded product. So it may just be a little bit of based on that alone, where it's just kind of an awkward shape. The next thing that we're going to try is this coffee mug. So this should be interesting. So again, I'm going to bring up my Cricut Heat app, and I'm going to just tell it I was finished with that project, and I'm going to move on to my next one. So it wants me to start a new project, and again, we're going to transfer materials, going to be Infusible ink, and then we're going to choose polyester, hit next. It wants us to preheat the cup, which, okay. So we're going to go ahead and send them. It's already set, so we should be good to go. I'm going to go ahead and preheat my mug. This feels weird, but all right, we'll just do what it says. Again, these aren't really necessarily settings for things like the mug, but we're going to try it on a mug because you guys wanted to see it. So what I'm going to do is, again, I'm going to use the strong grip tape, and I'm just going to try to place this. This is not my favorite, but I think it'll work better on the hard surface because I think that it won't collapse a little bit. Like that's what happened with the pouch, is it kind of had a collapse area. So I think this one might work out better. It is bigger, so I am going to need to move this. I'm going to need to kind of scooch it around, and I do want to make sure that this is as flat as I can get it onto the mug. So I am pressing it down, and I'm going to use quite a bit of the tape on here. So I'm just going to put another piece right over here. Again, it doesn't matter if that tape is over your design. It won't affect it. It can allow the heat to go through. It's just basically made so that the tape doesn't like melt. So we'll go ahead and put one down here, and that should be good. It is really on there. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and put this on to my mug. And you know what? Again, I think that if I could put the mug somewhere, it's not going to shimmy or move like on the table, although it feels like it's going to move there, doesn't it? Let me cancel that really quick. Let me think about this. How can we do this? Oh, here. This might work. Let's use the rag from before just to put it on the table so it's not like on a super like hard surface, and that'll hold it a little more steady. I'm still going to hold it with my hand, but that'll hold it steadier. Okay, there we go. Now, this is definitely way too curved for the hat press, so I am having to like really move it a lot in order to like have it touch the entire design all the time. And I think that pressing at 90 seconds is not going to be even close to enough, especially because I have to move it in order to get it onto the mug. And let's see if you guys can see. Can you see how little it's touching the mug? Like it's barely touching it. The curved surface of the mug is too curved for the hat press, but actually this seems to work pretty good. If I just hold the mug and then move it on the press, that's a little bit easier than like moving the press. So let's do that. Just be careful not to burn yourself. But again, I don't think 90 seconds is going to be nearly enough. I did the same color just to make life easy of the Infusible ink. And I'm not really pressing very hard. I'm just letting it kind of roll over the design. I'm going to flip this a little bit just so I can make sure that I get the design over here. But again, I really don't think this is going to... Like, this would not be the way I would choose to do this. This seems just like a lot of extra work and hassle to do a mug when you could just do this with the mug press. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and tell it no. Like, I want to go again because I don't think that that was nearly enough time. 90 seconds is not going to do it. So I'm going to go ahead and turn it again. Again, I am moving my press a lot because it's not even close to touching the whole design, like not even the tiniest bit. So I am moving my press a lot, like a lot. I'm starting to see some ghosting because we're having to press this down. So I'm going to go ahead and call this done. I did about another 60 seconds on it. So I'm going to go ahead and peel off the tape. But you can see kind of ghosting over here a little bit. And let me get this tape off so we can pull the design off. The cup is not like hot, so that also makes me think like it's probably not gonna work very well. I can touch it, like I can physically touch it. It's not burning my hand, but let's find out. It did definitely press that down. Oh yeah, this is, ooh. All right, so this is definitely not good. You can see like this part's pretty dark and like right there, but nothing else is super dark. I think if you were to do this with the hat press, you would have to press this for a really long time, and you would have to move it a million times to get the entire design, because this was actually a pretty small design to put on a coffee mug. I would say it definitely does not really work with coffee mugs, but I will say that I think it worked beautifully with our little Peep. He's got a nice small surface with a little bit of a rounding to him. It worked great on the t-shirt had I made the design the right size, but I did make it a little too big. But if you would have made it the right size, I think it would have been perfect on the t-shirt. It did work on the pouch, but again, I don't know that I would purchase the hat press just so that I could make pouches and stuffed animals and all that. I would just get the Easy Press Mini for this, the regular one. And then it worked on this pretty okay, I think. Honestly, all things considered, it's not that bad. And I think it was more the surface than anything. I think it was just because like this bottom part is so puffy. But I do think it worked. Definitely did not work on the mug. You can see how much Infusible ink is left over on the sheet. So it definitely did not work. It works beautifully on hats. I've used it on several hats. It works great. I think it did a great job on the little stuffy. So I do think if you're somebody who wants to make hats, this is a great little tool. It's perfect if you don't have a lot of space. It is perfect if you're just going to make hats and you just want to make hats. I think it's great. It works. The heat app is super easy to use. But what else does it work on? Not a ton of other things. I know a lot of people were really hoping it would work on a mug. I just don't think that this is what I would call working on a mug. If you guys have any questions or you want to see other things with the hat press, please let me know. I'm always happy to show you guys all sorts of fun tutorials. I hope you guys have a wonderful day, and as always, happy crafting!